It's been a while since I've done one of these. Um, I don't know the last time I posted a YouTube video. It's been a long time. I think it's been 2 weeks now. As you can see by the title of this video, it's not going to be the most happy video. I well, I don't really do videos anymore, so I was about to say I tend to try to make my videos as happy and as upfilling as I can, but I don't even make videos anymore, so it's hard for me to say that. Um, but I can't lie either, right? This funded account, I worked for maybe, well, the whole summer. I worked on getting it for 3 to 4 months, I think, and now for the past few weeks, I've been, I mean, it's just been a struggle. It's not been the happiest place in here. This is not what you want to see, right? This is by far the worst trading month I've ever had in my life. By far the worst. Yeah, we've been here before, but I feel like all of these trades that I took and all of these days I've just missed, they're not the same as when it used to be on the eval. Uh, they're very discouraging. I mean, it's been very hard. Um, I'm gonna see if like listen, I don't know if I could keep going if I lose this funded account. That's pretty much the point of this video. Because I worked, I don't know if I can do, if I could go through what I went through all over again and all over again. Because I've gone through this, I don't know how many times. So this is definitely one of my lowest points. Um, at some point, when can you say, it's over? This thing doesn't work for me. Obviously, if any of you are watching and it works, I'm very happy for you. Um, People like you keep me going. Um, and maybe, well, if any of you are gonna keep watching my videos, I don't think I have any uh, viewer attention anymore because of the lack of consistency. But if any of you are, hopefully you guys are not watching me in hopes of finding motivation towards it. This is a struggle, and I don't think I've pictured it any other way. Videos after videos, day after day, winning, losing. It's just long. It's hard. It's a struggle. People say that's how it's supposed to be, but yeah, I'd like to say I've been born with a strong mental, and it's the reason why I've kept going for so long. But at some point, is it an addiction, or I'm just really strong like that, So anyway, I'm gonna go through the trade like I usually do, but I just thought it'd be a good time to tell you guys how it's been going lately. Obviously you probably look at the amount and you're like, okay, well, it's not the end of the world, and it's not, it never will be the end of the world. This is just trading. um but it's another loss out of many, and I don't really care about the amount. I just care about if I can actually find ways day after day to make money out of this, and I can't anymore. So uh yeah, maybe I'm just not doing it right either. I've Anyway, let's just get into the trade because this is getting a bit depressing, and that was never the point. So let's get right into it. Um, listen, we can always blame it on price action. That's not what I want to do. I just want to look at where market is going. And lately, market on both Nasdaq and ES have been in like this form of retrace mode, where we've hit this draw liquidity, this kind of big gap over here. And for the past few days, we haven't been moving much, right? But it looks like slowly but surely we're coming back up. But really, this retrace has not been a clear wreck of a liquidity zone, right? Because if it had been, then we'd been moving clearly one way or the other. Right now, we're kind of moving sideways. So what do you do when you move sideways? You go on a small time frame, and you kind of look for small draws of liquidity, and see if you can find any clear small trade again. So what it looks like when that happens, well, you mark out draws of liquidity, and usually it looks like you have a rectangle above both, well, you have two lines, multiple lines above and under. And as a reaction trader, well, you just wait for, normally you just wait for either one of those lines to get taken out and see if we have a reaction, and then move either the direction. That's what we're kind of looking for. We're kind of looking for a reason to follow a trend or a disrespect off a liquidity zone, right? So that's pretty much the trade I got for you guys today. Let me just show you. It's better on the 1 minute. So the clearest draw liquidity is obviously this one in ES, and the same one is on Nasdaq is a bit further down. It's this one. So right off market open, ES decides to come and take out this draw liquidity, right over here. And so, like I just said, I'm just waiting to see if both indexes are going to have a reaction off of it or not. What led me to my trade was pretty simple. After we've done this little retrace above into this is probably a 15-minute gap or maybe an hourly, we really do a nice little swing up and back down. Really big black candle, suggesting a lot of displacement to the downside. You know, just a great confluence in terms of reaction trading. It's so big of a gap that it's almost impossible not to form a 1 minute gap, and we do over here. We tap back into it on ES, and we have a little bit of a smaller one on Nasdaq. Still good enough for me because we respect it. This is a respect off a 1 minute gap on both indexes. Now, for some reason, I'm more biased towards the Nasdaq being the leading index, but it doesn't have to be that way. Clearly today it wasn't. When I saw this big displacement down, I thought, okay, perfect moment. I'm just gonna follow the movement. You know, this is, you know, a setup, B plus maybe. You know, strong displacement. The reason why it's not A plus is just because of the high time frame, what it looks like. But it looks good, and we have this draw liquidity on Nasdaq that we haven't hit yet, but we did hit it on ES. My mistake today was, you know, since the draw liquidity was hit on ES, then just wait for ES to stop to disrespect that draw liquidity, right? And it wasn't enough at all, right? So we had this black candle. I was probably looking at that at the same time as I was entering Nasdaq, but we're still very close to that draw liquidity, and it's always possible to, you know, cut back down and fully react. Since it's a pretty high time frame draw liquidity, you don't have to hit it once on a low time frame. You know, as long as the 5 minute, 15-minute candle, you see one wick to it, then we could always just come back up and respect it. And that's exactly what happens. So for a minute there, I thought maybe Nasdaq was going to be a bit more powerful. I realized ES was still kind of respecting that draw liquidity, and ended up being ES the clear winner. So yeah, originally my stop loss was over here. Once we've gone down over here, I moved it around there, making the loss a bit less than it could have been. Still a loss. Why is this disappointing for me? Why is this disappointing for me? Well, like I said, I know exactly what my mistake is, and I still made it. Well, that doesn't make sense. I know what my mistake is, and I know I'm better than that. That's why it's a bit frustrating, right? If Yes had, a black candle like maybe around here, maybe I would have entered a bit later on Nasdaq. Doesn't really matter to me, as long as it's a 1-to-1, a clear trade. That's all that matters, really. So, yeah, that was the trade. Now I'm watching once again, a complete disaster of a market. I'm a bit tired of looking at a market that doesn't make sense. It's one of the reasons why I keep going, because maybe the reasons why I'm losing so much is because I'm finding reasons to trade in a stupid looking market. When actually, if the market did make sense like it used to, very, very, very back in the day, then maybe I would be a profitable trader. But at some point, when does it end, right? Your excuses, I feel like I'm gonna have to decide sooner or later. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys are not bummed out. This is a beautiful Thursday morning, at least where I am at. Enjoy the day. Enjoy your life. I'm gonna try to enjoy it as much as I can today, although I have school. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys the next time I feel like making a video.